Every airport you've ever walked through was designed to do something to you. Not move you efficiently to your gate. Not help you find your flight. Something else entirely. Because airports are not buildings designed around passengers. They are machines designed around spending. And every corridor, every turn, every sign you follow is part of a system engineered to extract money from you before you ever board the plane. You've felt it. The long walks, the strange layouts, the sense that nothing is where it should be. None of that is poor design. It's the design working exactly as intended. Here's where it starts. Security. Every major airport funnels passengers through a centralized security checkpoint. You wait in line. You remove your shoes. You empty your pockets. Your bags are scanned. Your body is scanned. By the time you come out the other side, you've been standing in a high-stress environment for anywhere from 10 minutes to over an hour. Your cortisol levels are elevated. You're relieved it's over. You feel like you've passed through something. And that feeling is precisely what the next phase is designed to exploit. Because the moment you clear security, you don't walk to your gate. You walk into a store. This is the part most passengers never question. In nearly every major airport in the world, the path from security leads directly into a duty-free shopping zone. Not past it. Not beside it. Through it. This layout is not a coincidence. It's a contractual requirement. Retail operators pay enormous rents for these positions, and in return, airports guarantee foot traffic. The architecture is built to ensure that every single passenger must walk through a commercial zone before reaching any gate. But this is where the design gets manipulative. The transition from security to shopping is carefully engineered. The lighting changes. The ceiling height shifts. The floor texture softens. The temperature adjusts. These aren't random architectural choices. They're borrowed from a field called retail atmospheric design. The same principles used in casinos, luxury malls, and theme parks. The goal is to create what designers call a decompression zone. A space that takes you from a state of anxiety and transitions you into a state of calm, openness, and suggestibility. You've just been stressed. Now you're being soothed. And the soothing happens to take place inside a shop. This is the detail most passengers never notice. Your emotional state is being managed. Not by therapists, by architects. And the manipulation doesn't stop at the entrance. It extends into the entire layout of the terminal. Think about the last time you walked through an airport after security. Did the path feel direct? Could you see your gate from the shopping area? Almost certainly not. Airport terminals are designed without straight sightlines to gates. The corridors curve. They branch. They wind through clusters of retail, food courts, and lounge entrances. This isn't because the building is shaped awkwardly. It's because the longer you walk, the more retail you're exposed to, and the more likely you are to spend. The industry calls this dwell time, the total amount of time a passenger spends in the commercial zone between security and boarding. And every design decision in a modern terminal is aimed at increasing it. Some airports have measured the relationship precisely. For every additional 10 minutes of dwell time, average passenger spending increases by a measurable percentage. The architecture is literally calibrated to slow you down. Now here's what the airport doesn't want you to think about. Look around the retail zone of any major airport. Try to find a clock. In most cases, you won't. This is not an oversight. It's intentional. Clocks create urgency. Urgency makes people move faster. Faster movement means less browsing, fewer impulse purchases, lower revenue. The same principle applies to natural light. Many airport shopping areas are deep inside the terminal, away from windows. Artificial lighting is tuned to a warm, consistent tone that eliminates any sense of time passing. Morning feels like afternoon. Afternoon feels like evening. The environment is deliberately timeless. This is borrowed directly from casino design. Casinos removed clocks and windows decades ago because they discovered that time awareness kills spending. The moment a gambler checks the time, they start calculating losses. The moment they notice daylight fading, they think about leaving. Airports studied those results and adopted the same strategy. Not for gambling, for retail. And the data proved it works. Airports that redesigned their commercial zones to reduce time queues saw measurable increases in per-passenger spending. The less aware you are of how long you've been browsing, the more you buy. And this creates a psychological trap that works on almost everyone. It goes deeper than lighting. The sensory environment of an airport terminal is controlled at a level most people never suspect. The smell of fresh bread or pastry that hits you as you walk through certain corridors. In many airports, it's not coming from a bakery. It's pumped through the ventilation system. Artificial scent diffusion, targeted at specific zones, designed to trigger hunger and comfort associations. The same technique is used in grocery stores to increase time spent in the bakery aisle. Background music in airport terminals isn't random either. The tempo is selected to influence walking speed. Slower music in retail zones encourages browsing. Slightly faster music near gates keeps people moving so seating areas don't overflow. The rhythm of your movement through the building is being conducted without your awareness. Flooring materials change between zones, not for aesthetic reasons, but because carpet slows people down and hard floors speed them up. Retail areas are often carpeted. Corridors to gates use hard tile or polished concrete. Your walking pace is being physically manipulated by the surface beneath your feet. Even the width of corridors is calculated. Narrower paths in shopping zones force you closer to storefronts. Wider paths near gates let crowds flow efficiently. The space itself expands and contracts around you like a controlled current, and you move exactly where the designers intended. But none of this would matter if airports didn't have a financial reason to care this much. And this is where the real structure reveals itself. Most people assume airports make their money from airlines, landing fees, gate rentals, fuel charges, and those revenue streams exist. But in many major airports, they're not the primary source of income. Not even close. The majority of revenue at the world's busiest airports comes from non-aeronautical sources. Retail concessions, car parking, lounge access, advertising, food and beverage. In some cases, retail revenue exceeds airline revenue by a factor of 2 or more. This changes the entire incentive structure. The airport's real customer isn't the airline. It's the retailer. The retailer pays rent based on foot traffic and sales volume. So the airport's job becomes delivering passengers to stores in the right emotional state, at the right pace with the right amount of time before their flight. You are not the customer. You are the product. Delivered on schedule, pre-stressed by security, decompressed by design, and guided through a commercial maze calibrated to your psychology. And the airports that understand this best are the ones generating billions. Singapore Changi, London Heathrow, Dubai International, Incheon. These aren't just transit points. They are some of the most profitable retail operations on the planet. Their terminal designs are studied, copied, and refined by every new airport that opens. The science of passenger extraction has become a global industry, and this is the part that ties everything together. The placement of security isn't just about safety. It's about sequencing. Security creates a psychological boundary. Once you pass through it, you can't easily go back. You're committed. You're inside the system. And everything on the other side of that boundary is designed to capitalize on that commitment. The stress of security serves a dual purpose. It screens for threats, yes, but it also primes you for the relief that follows. And that relief is the most commercially valuable emotional state in the entire airport. People who feel relieved spend more. They buy things they don't need. They eat meals they weren't planning on. They browse shops they would never enter on a normal street. The post-security environment is engineered to feel like a reward. A clean, bright, calm space filled with premium brands and comfortable seating. Feels like you've earned access to something. That feeling is manufactured. It's the product of stress followed by carefully designed relief. And it works. This isn't speculation. Airport revenue data confirms it. Post-security retail generates significantly higher per square meter revenue than any equivalent retail space in a city center. The captive audience, the emotional priming, and the time pressure before boarding create a spending environment that no shopping mall can replicate. Step back and see the full picture. An airport is not a transportation hub that happens to have shops. It is a retail environment that happens to have runways. The entire passenger experience, from check-in to boarding, is a funnel. A sequence of emotional states managed by architecture, lighting, scent, sound, and spatial design, all converging on a single outcome: revenue, the stress of security, the relief of the decompression zone, the disorientation of curved corridors, the absence of clocks, the warmth of artificial lighting, the smell of bread that isn't real, the music that sets your pace, the carpet that slows your feet. Every element is deliberate. Every element is measured. Every element is optimized. Tens of thousands of passengers move through this system every day at a single airport. Multiplied across the world, millions of people are being guided through the same behavioral architecture, experiencing the same emotional sequence, making the same unplanned purchases, all without realizing the environment was built to produce exactly that result. The airport doesn't look like a trap. It looks like a building. That's what makes it work. And next time you walk through one, notice the path. It was designed long before you arrived.